I'm your host, Nathan Oakley.
Wow, look at that moody looking tosspot. Hello all you beautiful people, I'm the Triggered Limey and welcome to the first ever episode of
Manic Monday.
Today we're just taking a look at the top 5 things that triggered me. An episode of Nathan Oakley's Flat Earth debate show. Scientific misinformation in general triggers me very easily. And to be honest, I probably could have done 30, 40 things. So let's jump right in. Coming in at number 5, we have Nathan Oakley's opener. So that's right, we are skipping his ridiculous intro, what he calls his housekeeping questions. 7 questions that he thinks we can't answer about the globe. They've all been answered a very long time ago, and yeah, it's just denial. We've all seen it before, and we all know that it's just some way of expressing himself to show that he's either as thick as pig or is a shady prick who's just in it for the money. So, to the opener.
Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth.
My view on the nature of the Earth is that the sheer amount of pillocks is starting to increase at a terrible rate, and to be fair, a lot of the time it's actually becoming quite dangerous. Your entire model, or lack thereof, is just based on fantasy, and you're just an utter prick.
If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected.
You twat. You need to start being honest. Maybe try something like this. Feel free to join our discussion, where you will be tag teamed by a bunch of who really should be sectioned. Where I, Oakley, the top bellend, will mute... Where I, Oakley, the top bellend, will mute and boot anyone that starts to make sense. This twat gets me angry right from the get-go. Let's move on. In at number 4, Flat Earth debates regulars. Let's just see who's supporting this spunk stain today.
Now, we are joined by Neil, 10th Man, Brian's Logic, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome.
To be honest, I've got no idea who Neil is. 10th Man's the idiot that said he started studying the sextant early last year, 2020, and determined that it can only work on a flat Earth. If you actually study celestial navigation properly, well, let's be fair, most people don't doubt the globe because they're not but if you study it properly, within the first few minutes, you already know that it can only work on a sphere. 10th Man's a idiot, and he, again, like Nathan, is either lying or just ridiculously thick. Clearly, this disappointment to his family just didn't understand a thing. It's another black swan, something that they think proves flat Earth, but actually perfectly fits the globe model. It's just these kindergarten rejects can't wrap their two-dimensional minds around it. And Brian's Logic. Imagine if someone's wank sock somehow grew a brain and became sentient, and then someone dropped a anvil on it. That'll give you a small idea of the intellect we're dealing with here. Number 3. Total bullshit.
Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere-edge horizon, formerly known as the curve of the Earth?
They're not the same thing, knob jockey.
Well, back to you're going to need R for that. You need a radius, and they don't have a radius, so no. The horizon is optical, the curvature that doesn't exist.
Seriously, how do you lot feel comfortable sharing your stupidity in public? Doesn't it embarrass you? Because I'm embarrassed for you. We do have R. There's multiple ways to make your own observations and calculate it. And all of them come back with the same figure within the very tight margin of error. And, you prize Berks, this just wouldn't work on a flat Earth.
I just want to say it's funny how you say formerly known as when they said nobody says the horizon is Earth curve.
Holy shit. Is one of them starting to actually get it? Bless him. This is like watching a toddler learn to walk. Come on, fella, you can do it.
Yeah, the horizon is not Earth curved. We only have one horizon, and the horizon in the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator is a physical geometric sphere edge marked with an X and labelled Earth curve. That's what it is. It's an Earth curve calculator. But that's not the horizon. That only exists in the maths. We don't have a geometric horizon.
Yeah, well, I mean, their only claim is that something that is already officially admitted to being an optical effect, they're trying to claim that this optical effect, which is the horizon, is refracted. How can you refract something that's already an optical effect? You know, it's like saying the Coriolis effect is refracted. It's like zero logic went into that claim.
Nope, fell over. Guess they're just not ready. On to number 2, more misunderstanding.
But at which point there's an effect, a natural consequence, where we're going to see things drifting because we're turning beneath them.
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure if Oakley is misunderstanding the science or just straight up lying to earn his little bit of coin. But either way, it turns what he's doing into misrepresentation. Daniel Pratt, the Pratt, tries to use this one a lot as well. The whole theory of, well, if something's not touching the surface, like a helicopter, for example, is floating up, shouldn't it move even if it's just hovering because the world turns beneath it? And no, that's not how it works. They know it's not how it works. The atmosphere is also affected by gravity, you dumb
So in other words, to annihilate the claim, the natural consequences of the claim that we don't observe have to be pointed out.
Just like we have to point out that you alter scientifically backed claims to try and throw off your younger flirflings. Before we get to number 1, if you're enjoying the content and the new format that I'm trying to do, please do like. And if you know anyone that also may enjoy the content, please do feel free to share it with them. These fraggles push their scientific misinformation hard, and I think that we, to be responsible and try and combat this misinformation, need to push ours just as hard, if not even more so. Now, my number 1 thing that triggered the absolute out of me is good old Anthony Sleepy TikTok Predator Riley.
I know that Einstein's talking to Waddle, right? I'm not pushing Einstein at all.
Sleepy, you dirty little you don't know a thing, do you? Wanker. You arrogantly try to replace established science with a lab coat, a egg, and complete misunderstanding of the scientific method. You bellend.
But when Brian's talking about structural support, I call that relative density.
We know you do, and we all laugh at it every single time. You still don't seem to understand that density alone would not give you a downward movement. There's every chance it would go any which way. The reason we have a downward pull is gravity. It's not difficult to understand, you know.
When I added the salt to the medium, it caused an acceleration, but they say density is not a force, but there was an acceleration, right?
Yes, you added salt to the medium, increasing its density, which you tried to show in your experiment with a parts per million counter. Classic. Gravity acted on the denser medium, pulling it down, just as it does everything else, displacing the egg, creating an upward buoyant force. Did you even go to secondary school, you thick twat? I've had enough of this. Join me in a couple of days for the premiere of Wanker Wednesday, when we look at Phuket Word, who I'm starting to suspect may be Eric Dubé's dad. While you're here, maybe watch this video next. I'm the Triggered Limey, and I'm out.